welcome back to my channel. So today I created a party and play sweat-proof makeup look for you guys. I decided to film this look because I wanted to share a few tips and trips. Yes guys, let's go on a trip. Anyways, I decided to give you guys some tips and tricks that I use, you know, for whenever I'm going out and stuff like that, kind of keep my makeup in place, locked and loaded, and the makeup that I like to use before I go out on a night out. So this is the kind of makeup look that will have you going like this at a party. And a few moments later, you're still gonna be looking glam AF, looking good. You know, makeup's not gonna budge. You get what I'm saying? So if you are interested in this glam that I created today and the kind of tips that I have to give out for a night out, then definitely keep on watching. So let's go right ahead and just jump into this tutorial. So for today, I think I'm gonna do my eyebrows first. Yeah, I'm gonna do my eyebrows first. So what I've been doing lately has been soap brows. I have really curly, thick, and bushy eyebrows, and even though I love my Anastasia Beverly Hills clear gel, I feel like for right now the soap brows has been working for me the best. So what I like to use is just some regular Dial soap that I have right now. Looks like this. I just rip off like a piece of paper and I use like this little spot right here. That's what I've been doing for my brows, and I feel like I suggest it because if you're gonna be partying and sweating, you definitely want to like lock your eyebrows in place. Nothing is more annoying than being like, my brows, girl, my brows. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I've been there. So I like to take a little bit of MAC Prep and Prime or Fix Plus spray, and I like to spray my soap bar a little bit. And I've been using my NYX Micro Brow Pencil, so I just like to take the spoolie end of the side and I like to tame my brows first. So let me just zoom you guys in. Woo! Alright, we're zoomed in. I like to just take, you know, the soap and just kind of go like this. Tame my brow hairs a little bit. Like these. Just so they can stay in place. And then for the front of my eyebrows, because for some reason, my eyebrow hairs, I don't know. This is like my perfect eyebrow, like this is like my favorite eyebrow. This eyebrow just doesn't even want to be part of the same family at this point. So I like to just whisk, like, you know, like kind of like feather out these hairs in the front so it can kind of match this eyebrow a little bit better. So I feather them out a little bit and then I try to tame these hairs real good. And I just do the same thing on the other side. So I'm gonna let my brows set. I'm gonna let the soap dry before I even go in with the NYX pencil, because if you try to go in while your eyebrows are wet, it's a little bit of a disaster. So I'm gonna let everything kind of dry, and then I'm gonna use this later on to complete the look and obviously like feather in my brows. Okay, so first thing is first, I'm gonna start with my face first before I start with my eyes. And before I prime my eyes, I'm going to use my Origins Eye Doctor Moisture Care for Skin Around Eyes. I purchased this a while ago actually, and I got it for the main reason that under my eyes it gets dry, but lately I've been getting like wrinkles under my eyes. I don't know, it's been freaking me out. I'm like, oh my god, I'm getting old, it's happening. So I definitely have to be out on the lookout for a new eye cream. But for the purpose of the fact that this is a party and play sweat-proof makeup look, I like to put something under my eyes that's moisturizing because I will be baking, and nothing looks worse than when later on in the day, I'm gonna say like 4 to 5 hours after you do your makeup, you know, you bake and everything, you think that you're setting your face in place because you don't add the right amount of moisture or anything, especially under the eye area where like literally you get lines like this for no reason. I really recommend putting on an eye cream underneath your eye. I know the Clinique Moisture Surge or All About Eyes, I think that's what it's called, All About Eyes, is really good too. I had that and I really liked it. It's more of like a gel base, so if you're into that, I would definitely look into it. This one is more of a cream. So I'm gonna take my ring finger because it's the finger that has the less force. I don't know. You know, it's better than using like your pointer finger, you know, like. And I just like to put a little bit under my eyes like this and pat it in just to keep that moisture underneath my eyes. And I like to take a little bit and put some on my eyelid as well. So one thing that's like key to keeping your makeup sweat proof and good for the whole day are primers. So today I'll be using 2 primers for my face because I have dry skin on my forehead and also like on this area of my face I have dry skin, but I do get a little bit oily on my T-zone. I know the T-zone is like your forehead too, but there's nothing oily about my forehead at all. But I do get oily here, and I also have, you know, smile lines as well. So I'm gonna use my Faced Hangover RX Replenishing Face Primer. I'm gonna take a little bit of this on the back of my hand, and this is just gonna be like my moisturizing primer for my forehead and like this part of my face. I like to use this moisturizing primer especially on days that I feel like I want my makeup to stay and last all day long, is because you know what, with dry skin comes dry patches, and if you're using a matte foundation, which I will be using today, you know how that goes, guys. My dry skin people, you know. Your matte foundation is just like, it just wants to cling. Literally go like this with your dry patches, like just cling on them. So I like to just make sure that I have extra moisture on my forehead. So the other primer that I'm using today is this Makeup Forever Step 1 Skin Equalizer Smoothing Primer. It has like that silicone texture to it. Kind of reminds me of the Benefit Professional. I also have that. This is actually a sample size because why would I need a big size if I'm mostly dry? But this is what it looks like. It definitely has like that silicone. Oh my god, why did I overdo it? This because I was talking and I overdid it. So it definitely has like that silicone kind of texture. So if you're not into that, I wouldn't recommend this, but I like it because it does, like, it literally says what it does. It's a smoothing primer. It fills in my pores, like right here I'm a little porous, and I'm obviously gonna put some where my smile lines. You know what's funny, guys? I'm doing this makeup tutorial and it's not like I have anywhere to go. That's the funny part. But it's okay, this weekend I'm gonna record something for you guys and I'm actually gonna go somewhere, which is nice. So for foundation today, I'm going to use the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Foundation. Even though I do have dry skin and this is a matte foundation, I do highly recommend, so that your makeup is fully 100% sweat proof, to get a really good matte foundation. This has been my current favorite at the moment because it's matte and it completely vanishes away my smile lines. I feel like if you're a matte foundation that vanishes away my smile lines, doesn't cling to my dry patches, and looks flawless in pictures and I don't have flashback, that's all I need in this life. That's it. So this is the foundation that has been doing all of those things for me. I'm gonna take a little, dropping things. Take a little bit on the back of my hand, like this. I have to definitely get like one of those like little plates to put my foundation on and other stuff on, because my hand is like ridiculous. And every time I'm in a rush, I have like foundation on my hand, highlight on my hand, or like, I don't even know, like eyeshadow on my hand, because sometimes I like to swatch it, you know, to think about what I want to wear for my eyes. And I really leave with my hand, like with swatches on my hand. it's a little ridiculous. For this foundation though, since I do have dry skin and this is kind of like, you know, like I'm out all day kind of look, I'm gonna put a few, maybe 1 drop of my Josie Maran 100% pure argan oil. I just kind of want to just give a little moisture to this foundation, so I think 1 drop is good enough. I don't want to make it too, you know, hydrating. So I just like to give a little bit of moisture to this foundation because, like I said, you know, even though this foundation doesn't cling on my dry patches, it's good to avoid situations, if you know what I mean. And I'm obviously gonna blend all of this out with my beauty blender. So for concealer today, I'm going to use my Naked Skin concealer by Urban Decay. I recommend a concealer that you know you can trust. I have a few drugstore concealers that I feel like are good. They're actually bomb and they don't crease on me, but for the purpose of this video, I feel like this and my Tarte concealers are concealers that I know will never fail me. I know that no matter what, it's gonna do the job and it's gonna work amazing under my eyes. It's not gonna, you know what I mean? It's not gonna crease on me or anything. What I like to do is, so that when I take pictures and I don't get flashback, like in this area in particular, that's like, guys, I had to learn a lot. That used to always happen to me. Not always, but I definitely learned my lesson. I learned tips and tricks that I can do. And I feel like if you're going for a night out, you're definitely gonna be taking a lot of pictures. And if you're in the dark or something, like at a club, obviously you're gonna be using flash on your phone. So I like to kind of like thin out the concealer as much as possible. And then I like to take the end of my beauty blender and blend all of this out so it looks like our face is one. It doesn't look so, you know, separated. It doesn't look like, okay, obvious highlight, obvious contour, obvious bronzer, you know what I'm saying? So it looks, everything looks even, cohesive, and nothing looks super separated. See? Like that. Boom. Before I bake, I'm gonna hit my under eye one more time to, you know, prevent any kind of creasing before I put my powder. And to bake today, I will be using my Sasha Buttercup finishing powder. I love this powder because it's kind of second to my Laura Mercier powder, and also when I'm going out, like I said, if I'm taking pictures, flashback, things like that, I love a powder that has a yellow undertone like this one. And I'm gonna take a little bit of this powder, put it on my nose, a little bit like this, on my chin, and I want to put some on my smile lines to bake. So while my face sets and, you know, we're getting all this baking done, I'm gonna move on to my eyes. The first thing that I like to do with my eyes, I don't have oily lids, but I like to prevent my lids from getting oily, and I feel like it's very important to prime your eyelids. I do use concealer a lot of the times to prime my eyelids, but when it's a night that I definitely want to prevent, you know, the sweat from moving anything, I like to actually go in with a good primer. For me, that's the MAC Prep and Prime 24-Hour Extend Eye Base, and I like to place a little bit on my eyelid and pat it in there. Once this dries, guys, it's very, very tacky, so I wouldn't do the most with it. I would just take a thin layer and kind of let it do its job and just pat it on the eyelid like this. So to set this primer, I am going to use actually my e.l.f. Matte from Matte 2 palette. Ever since I bought this, I've been using it. Like, the matte shades in here are the best. I would definitely recommend you guys purchase this palette and give it a go because I've been loving it and I've been using it ever since I bought it. So to set my lid, I think I'm going to go with this Coffee and Cream shade. This one right here, the shade. And I'm using my Sigma E40 brush. I'm just gonna put this all over my lid and pat it all over just to set that eye base because it's tacky. So once we go in with our transition shade, I don't want to have like an obvious, you know, like mark right there because it's not gonna blend in nice. So the next shade I'm going to use is the next color over, which is like a camel brown. I like to call that shade a camel brown. I'm using the same brush, going in there, and this is gonna be our transition shade. So I'm popping this in the crease and using windshield wiper motions like these. So the next color that I'm using is going to be this burnt orange shade right here, and I'm using a Sigma E25 brush. It's a little bit more precise, and I'm going to just focus it more on the socket of the crease and then sweeping it inward like this. I want to give my outer V a little bit more definition, just a little bit of warmth, a little love. So this shade right here, it's like a brown, like a dark brown. I'm gonna take a little bit on the same Sigma E25 brush, a little bit like this, and I'm going to just focus it on my outer V. And I'm using my Sigma E40 brush with nothing on the brush, just whatever's on it, just to blend everything out. So there's no harsh lines, you know. Give it a quick little blend. So normally I'm like okay with a look like this. I'll pop on some wing liner and some lashes and I'm good to go. But today I wanted to incorporate a little shimmer, a little shine, because I wanted to make this more of a glam look. I'm gonna be using my Stila Magnificent Metals Glitter and Glow Liquid Eyeshadow. And I picked up the color Smoldering Satin. This is the color right here. Look at that. Has a glitter. It's more of a pinky, like a pinky champagne color, like right up my alley. So I'm gonna take some and put it on my lid. Ooh! Look at this. I'm gonna use my MAC 242 paddle brush and I'm gonna pat this shadow in like this. With my Sigma E25 brush, I'm gonna take that burnt orange shade again. I'm literally using like the same brushes. And I want to just warm up the crease a little bit where I put that shadow. Putting a little bit more on this eye because I feel like I lost it a little bit when I was blending the eyeshadows. So I did put on my lashes and I did a wing liner off camera just to save some time. But the wing liner that I used today was the Wet n Wild Mega Liner. I've actually really have been enjoying this liner a lot because it dries very matte and also it doesn't really budge. Like it's just there. So I was like, perfect way to use it for this tutorial. So I'm gonna warm up my face and bronze up my face. So for today I'm gonna use the MAC Give Me Sun bronzer and a Zoeva 101 brush. Now what I would suggest when picking out a bronzer on a day that you want to be more sweat proof, I would recommend using a bronzer that's more finely milled, that is more skin-like, or a bronzer like my Makeup Forever Pro Bronze Fusion. You guys already know that that's my bronzer. Like, I love that bronzer. Just because I feel like if you use woo, my lashes almost popped off. But anyways, like I was saying, I feel like if you are gonna use more, I don't know how to explain it. Like, you know, there's bronzers that are like, you know, very heavy powdered bronzers. I would definitely kind of shy away from that because once you do start sweating, you're gonna get patches on your face. Trust me, I learned the hard way. So I'm gonna take a little bit of this brush and I'm going to warm up my face. I skipped the whole cream contouring thing because I feel like and believe that when going out, less is more, because you want your makeup to stay in place. Like the more you keep putting on, the more you keep doing the most. Like I personally feel like, you know, it could lead to a disaster. I mean, if that works for you, yo, kudos to you. Let me know what you've been doing so that I can do it. But for me, you know, it's best for me to just bronze my face and contour with a powder. I'm gonna use my Zoeva 127 brush just to give my nose a little nose contour. To contour my face today, I'll be using the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette, and I'm gonna use the same Zoeva 127 brush. I'm taking these two colors right here, dipping them in there, bloop, 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 and just focusing it on the outer portion of my, like, you know, like this hollow part of my cheek. Not dragging it, just keeping it like this. So for highlight today, I'm going with two highlights that I know are not gonna look powdery on me. Granted, the more highlight you wear, the nicer it looks on pictures, but let's keep it real. If you're gonna spend a night out all night and you don't want your makeup to move around too much, I feel like less is more, like I said before. I'm using the Balm Betty Luminizer highlighter because this highlighter I feel like is more my color. It's like more, you know, it's more of a bronzy highlighter. And I'm also using my Becca Champagne Pop because I feel like it's that highlighter that's like bing, you know, gonna be in your face. Literally use my Champagne Pop just on the high points of my cheeks. That's it. So I'm gonna use my Morphe 310 brush, and with my Balm Betty Luminizer, I'm gonna put some of this on my cheek. Oh, it's so pretty. I really love this highlighter so much. You know, it gives me like a wet look, like a very natural glow. And I feel like that's best to use highlights that have this kind of formulation in it, because I feel like if you do end up sweating during the day, it's not a powdery highlight, so it's gonna, you know, kind of like melt in a way and just look even better. Like you're literally gonna be looking like J-Lo straight out of a video shoot, glistening like pow, pow, pow. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I would recommend getting a highlight that is more, like it has a more glossy or wet effect and it's melts in your skin like right away, like the minute you use it. Putting a little bit on the bridge of my nose and the tip of my nose, and then blending it all out so it's not super harsh and not super obvious. So with my Becca highlight, I'm gonna take a little bit and literally just put it right here. Boop. Right there. Like on the high points of my cheek. Take a little bit also and put some on my nose a little bit and bridge my nose. For blush today, I'm gonna use one of my all-time favorites, is the MAC Peaches blush with a Real Techniques blush brush. And I'm gonna smile a little bit and put some on the apples of my cheeks between the bronzer and the highlight. For my bottom lash line, I'm not gonna include any powder because I feel like when I'm out and stuff like that and I have powder, you know, kind of give my eyes a little bit of a smoky effect or whatever. Sometimes I find like the powder ends up like down here by the end of the night. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna play it safe and I'm just gonna use some mascara, and I'm also not gonna clump up all of my mascara because the same thing that happens with the eyeshadow when you put it underneath your waterline, the same thing that could happen with mascara. So just trying to avoid all of that. So I'm just putting a little bit with my L'Oreal Telescopic mascara. A little bit, you know, give the bottom lashes a little definition, a little, you know, like I'm here, but I'm not all the way here. Now I'm gonna finish up my brows. I purposely leave this step, you know, last because I do end up getting powder and stuff like that on my brows, but I'm just taking the Brow Wiz and feathering out my eyebrow hairs. So for lips, I would recommend nude shades. I would stray away from colorful shades and things like that because honestly, you don't know what you're gonna be doing with your mouth. I'm just saying. You could be drinking, you know, you could be doing other things, yo no sé. And I feel like with a nude gloss or even a very reliable nude liquid lipstick, I feel like you kind of avoid, you know, the awkwardness of having to constantly reapply. You don't know when your lipstick starts like coming off right here. Trust me, it happens to me all the time. And I get so tight, I'm like, ah! So I feel like what works for me is focusing on like more like flesh tone nudes or like peachy nudes or mauve nudes because I feel like they kind of blend in with your lips. So even if a little bit comes off, if it's a liquid lipstick, you're good. And if it's a lip gloss, even better because you can reapply it literally in the middle of the dance floor. You could be like, and you're good. No one's gonna judge you. I feel like with liquid lipstick, you actually kind of have to have a mirror. I mean, if you're good like that. But for me, I have to have a mirror, so I definitely recommend nudes. Today I'm gonna wear my very trusty, haven't used it in my channel in a while, is my Anastasia Beverly Hills liquid lipstick in the color Ashton. So I'm going to apply this liquid lipstick, and I don't have my Nutmeg lip liner that I always pair it with, my NYX Nutmeg lip liner. So we're gonna improvise today, and we're gonna use the Wet n Wild lip liner in the color Chestnut. I also have the Revlon lip liner in the color Coffee Bean. I don't know which one I want to use yet, but I'll figure it out. Whatever looks best, like whatever's closer to Nutmeg is what I'm going to use, honestly. Now that I'm looking at this color, I think I'm going to use the Wet n Wild Chestnut color. I'm just putting it above. Like I'm lining the outside like this. So to lock all of this makeup in place, obviously this is going to be the final step, I'm going to use my Urban Decay All Nighter spray. I feel like you need to kind of use a spray that's going to keep your makeup in place. You know, it's better to be safe than sorry. And I would also recommend to buy like, you know, the travel size versions of these sprays because I always keep them in my pocketbook. So whenever I need a little touch up, I'm like, oh my god, hold on, pause, why is this moving? I feel like it's very beneficial to get yourself a travel size one. Put it in your pocketbook just in case. So I'm gonna put a couple of spritz of this Urban Decay spray to complete this look. Oh my god, I wasn't even, the nozzle was this way, it wasn't even towards my face. Okay guys, so this completes the look for today. I hope that you guys really enjoyed, and if you did follow, you know, this video, I hope that you guys are going out somewhere fun and enjoying it. If you're new to my channel, welcome guys, welcome to the family. Please don't forget to subscribe before you leave. And I just want to say thank you so much for watching this video. Until next time.